La Cienaga, directed by Lucrece Martel, 2001. La Cienaga, directed by Lucrece Martel, touches on various themes of matriarchy, power dynamics, and anxiety. An ominous film that showcases a decaying middle-class family in Argentina, while deleting characters such as Meca, the mother and head figure of the family. Who's in bed and drinks all day, she criticizes the character of Isabel, indigenous maid. Isabel is just a worker in the household, but becomes a central figure to the family, each in their own way. This power dynamic between employer and employee is littered with disrespect and racism, constantly belittled and reminded that they are different in every way, and it will stay that way. The normalization of cultural colonialism portrayed in Martel's film La Ciénaga is conducted through Isabel and her relationships with the household she works for. Cultural imperialism, also known as cultural colonialism, encompasses the cultural aspects of imperialism. This is referred to as the creation and maintenance of unequal relationships between civilizations. In the broad context of Latin America, the Spanish have imposed their culture and beliefs over centuries to the native people, and thus promoting and maintaining that system today. The effects of imperialism are still felt on how Latin American societies see and treat each other through class, race, and gender differences. Isabel is an indigenous maid who works for Mecca and her family. She speaks the least, but when she does, it's of a comment of her job or of her frustration with it. Each interaction she's had with the family she works for has been in some way demeaning. Mecca is the major contributor to the racism Isabel encounters as she constantly spews out stereotypes and demeaning comments. It has gotten to the point where Mecca's younger children have made similar comments despite playing with other indigenous youth. Her older children objectify her. Both Moni and Jose are guilty of this. Moni reduces Isabel's being to the worker-employee relationship every time she does something that she does not want her to do. Jose encounters her at a festival and expects her to get with him because she is just a maid despite being out of the house. Isabel's relationship with Mecca. The first scene establishes her relationship with Isabel. Mecca is drunk and falls on glass, while everyone around her does not even acknowledge her fall. Isabel runs to help her. She refuses to get help from her despite being clearly intoxicated and unable to walk, calling her dirty, disgusting, and when she's the only one who tried to help her in the first place, she makes a distinct comment. Now the towels appear when most needed, when you've been stealing them all of mine. Even in the midst of helping her, Mecca finds a way to blame her workers. She is constantly berating and making comments on these workers and their attitude. All the while they're doing all the right things for her, but they never seem to satisfy her due to her racism and her constant negligence of her own children. Isabel's relationship with Moni. Moni's first words are, "I'm thankful to God for Isabel," all the while they lay in bed together lounging. While this may be an indication of appreciation, it goes beyond that. Throughout the film, Isabel is accused of stealing and being lazy, but Moni defends her. Moni does not see Isabel as her equal, but more like a pet. There are times where Moni will threaten Isabel's job if she doesn't listen to her, when Isabel truly needs to get away. She never listens to Isabel either. She has to leave the household, but Moni doesn't consider her life outside of their home. She constantly demands for her to stay despite Isabel's frustration with her family and other responsibilities. In the end, Moni and Isabel's relationship will never be equal unless Moni sees her for who she is and treats her for who she is, not just a maid. She is a being with needs outside of serving her family. It is important to comprehend these power dynamics if we further want to understand how Latin American countries and its people view each other. The culture was created through colonization and establishment of hierarchies that is now weaved in the fabric of their daily lives. This is in tangent to the films we have watched in class, in which class and race completely impact the experience of the characters and the way they are portrayed. It is a daily occurrences and acceptances that further pushes racism, classism, and sexism into the fabric of Latin American livelihoods, not just a singular abstract concept that is all to blame on. Thank you.